Well,
Ring.
I've just turned the recording on because I'm talking to Mick, and I was going to save the recording for a bit later on, but Mick's already off on one glorious one, telling us about. Go on, do it again.
Ep epistemic curiosity.
Epistemic curiosity, a
Curiosity, but
philosophical term.
it is a philosophical term. Epistemology is the philosophy of the acquisition of knowledge, how we acquire knowledge and how we process it and so on. And I did it back in the 70s in the middle of a war in Belfast. It seemed like a good idea at the time. And I didn't really understand it at all. And then 4 years later, I found myself on Bermondsey Adventure Playground, and there it was all around me in glorious living 3D, running around on little legs. Children curious about things, testing their boundaries and testing my boundaries as well. Um, And I've been looking at the sort of, I've been out of the play scene more or less, for a while now, apart from with grandchildren, great grandchildren, and so on. But I've been curious about this epistemic curiosity, which I came across randomly somewhere on the internet. And then I just thought, and I thought, oh, is that anything to do with epistemology? And the reason I started getting into it was that many people will know that going way back to the very first days of Bob Hughes's taxonomy of play types, I was very unsure about this concept of risky play. Have always been very, very wary of that, and so was Bob actually. What he called, what a lot of people call risky play, he said this is deep play, and it is about children, testing their abilities, testing their limits, testing boundaries, and so on. But it's something that's hardwired into us as human beings, and I suspect most animals as well, that we need to be curious. We need to find things out in order to get new things to eat and so on. And there was a quote that I found somewhere, which I thought it was really made me laugh. And it says, it's a fundamental, this is epistemic curiosity, it's a fundamental aspect of childhood, but poorly understood, which reminds me, you could just apply that to play very
Totally,
easily. That,
totally.
yeah. And and again, again, then when a few years ago with me play England days, when Wendy Russell and Stuart Lester, they were doing a sort of a massive survey of the available scientific literature on children's play and childhood and so on. And one of the conclusions they came up with was that there's no evidence at all that children actively seek out risk. They thought they were seeking out something close to uncertainty, but there's no evidence at all that they deliberately seek out risk. They may get themselves into all risky situations, and of course they do all the time, but
Mm.
that's because they're not aware of what the consequences might be, I suppose. Um, and but then again, once you put your finger in the fire and burn it, the next time you're probably going to use a stick, So yes, to get that
So
marshmallow out.
yeah, I see that at the playground all the time.
Yeah,
So at conference, you're going to be obviously online because
yeah,
you're not
yeah.
traveling. Um, we'll have to make sure you can see your audience because you are going to be questioning them, aren't you? You're going to
Well,
get them talking.
I want to talk a bit about this and introduce the concept of epistemic curiosity and kind of tie it back to real life, play and play work a little bit. So it's not some abstract laboratory concept that's of no use to them. I just kind of want to kind of explain to them and when they're doing play work, they will see this stuff happening all around them. And then, I mean, I'd only want to talk about 15, 20 minutes maximum, and then have a have a discussion, see what their thoughts are on it. I like that. I like that having a kind of a chat around the room with people bringing their or maybe their complete disbelief in it. I don't care. That's all fine. It's all part of the debate.